And welcome to Life Screenings International Short Film Festival. I'm
Hooray.
here with Michelle, and she's one of the co-hosts for
Mhm.
the festival. Michelle, tell everybody we are live here at the library.
We are, yeah.
Yeah, and
We
we
have a
are
nice
we are
crowd.
live. Yeah, and we are also virtual out
Mhm.
there. So Michelle, quickly tell us what's your background in film.
Oh, I've loved it since I was born, studied it in college, been part of a production company. I study film. I'm a film historian and I love classic film. So film.
Yes, and you were also on a show, weren't
On
you?
a show?
A TV show.
Oh,
You
I
can
was,
talk about that,
you know,
can't
you
you?
always love to call me out. I was on Turner Classic Movies with Robert Osborne several years ago, introducing a film that was wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a while ago.
All
Yeah.
right.
So yeah, it's a little feather in my cap.
So, it's got a little red in your hat. in here
A
too.
little bit today. Is it popping?
So what is Life Screenings? Life Screenings is a short film festival. It's a once a
Mhm.
month. We are physically here in Winter Park, Florida. We have the very large room today.
Of course.
No, we usually have about a room enough for about 30 people,
Mhm.
and we get 10, 20 people that
Oh yeah,
show
I
up.
think your last one you had closer to 15. You had quite a crowd.
Right.
Families and things.
We're looking for films that show a world we want to live in.
Mhm.
And we also will show the film. And if the filmmaker's here physically, and sometimes they do show up physically, we'll bring him or her in
Great.
and discuss the film. If not, you and I will discuss the
Okay,
film.
that sounds good.
Um,
And we have the peanut gallery. With
We
us,
do,
so-
and the peanut gallery
We'll bring
gets
them in.
to ask any questions they want after every film.
Certainly.
We have 9 short films,
Mhm.
and let's just get to the first one. And the first one is, where is it? There we go. No, that's not it. It's my friend of mine that
You need
came
help?
here. Yeah, to read.
That's why I'm here.
Where is it? Rosenwald. Yes, this is a great film. Actually, they're all great that I do. So enjoy. This is Rosenwald, and we will get started right now.
This is a great American story. How a philanthropist with a good heart met another guy who had a good heart. He was white, he was black, they liked each other, and they were able to come up with something meaningful.
It's a remarkable coming together of two people from very different backgrounds, finding common cause in the idea of opportunity. If you had education, you could do anything.
The Rosenwald story and the Booker T. Washington connection to that story, I think, is a story for our times. It's medicine. It's medicine that we need right now for troubled times.
We only look back and say, it's unbelievable.
At the end of the 19th century, the American South was strictly divided by race, the legacy of the Supreme Court's infamous separate but equal doctrine.
The schools were not equal. Schools for young African Americans were much inferior in terms of the facilities themselves. Books were handed down from white schools, desks and what have you.
Public education was mandatory, but the states were providing two systems, black and white, and dividing their dollars very unevenly.
You would get a very little education or not a great education, and that would keep you on the farms and in the fields, working essentially in a modern version of slavery.
As the new century dawned, the cause of black education would attract a surprising benefactor.
Well, Julius Rosenwald was the son of German Jewish immigrants. He was born in Springfield, Illinois in 1862 and grew up right across the street from Abraham Lincoln's home.
He followed his uncles into the retail clothing industry, became a bit of a self-made man.
And by a lucky break, in 1895, he got to get a quarter interest in Sears Roebuck.
It was sort of the Amazon of the day. They had seeds for your garden, they had baby shoes for your baby, you could get a bicycle, a tractor, you could get anything.
He became, I think the technical term is, a gazillionaire. And what happened is that Rosenwald then chose to take that money and support a variety of causes, philanthropic causes, some for the Jewish community, but also for other people who were in need.
In 1911, Julius Rosenwald met Booker T. Washington, author of Up from Slavery and founder of the Tuskegee Institute.
Booker T. Washington was recognized not only nationally but internationally as one of the strong advocates for the education of African Americans.
And you had Rosenwald, a philanthropist, looking for a way to support these kinds of causes. And then you had Booker T. Washington, who was one of the best salesmen of his time. And they began to talk about this concept of creating these schools to support African American education in a segregated South. And literally, as they say, the rest is history.
Rosenwald pioneered a new kind of philanthropy, enlisting local communities and school districts to match his investments in the new schools.
It was not at all a handout. It was a partnership.
He always wanted to give a third of the money. He expected the local school system to put in a third. He also expected that the African American community would contribute a third.
And the thing that is so interesting and so encouraging is that the parents of these children said, we will do our share. We will raise extra tomatoes that we can sell. We'll bake more pies that we can sell, et cetera, et cetera. We want our kids to have the best education opportunity they can.
Over 3 decades, the Rosenwald Fund helped build more than 5,000 schools and related buildings across 15 states, educating a third of African American children in the South.
But if you look at the way many of these schools were designed, you've got lots of light. You've got windows that are very, very high. These were not just boxes that children were going to be shoved into. They were places that were created to enhance the ability of young people to learn. It was a place where you wanted to go.
The requirement for the schools was that they be on 2 acres of land, so there was room for gardens. There was room for the outhouses.
Laverne Gray's grandmother, Mary Ridgely, donated the land for the Ridgely Rosenwald School in Maryland.
The first year it opened, my mother came in the 1st grade to be taught by her big sister. She was tickled. She just thought it was the best thing since apple pie. But I do know that my mother enjoyed learning, and she passed that enjoyment of learning on to me.
Newell Quinton's parents attended the San Domingo Rosenwald School in Maryland, but they had to leave after 4th grade to work.
It was always, you got to get through school, and also I pray that you have a better life than I did. And it was in those stories that were shared with us that I knew the sacrifice that each of them had made in their own way to ensure that we would go to school.
Well, the impact of the Rosenwald schools was tremendous. So if you don't have the Rosenwald Angelou, you don't get graduates like Congressman John Lewis, you don't get graduates like Pulitzer Prize winning columnist Eugene Robinson. You lose a network of people that were empowered to write and support the civil rights movement, advocate for desegregation. The Rosenwald schools lay the foundation for the progress that gets made in the 40s and 50s and 60s.
In 1928, the Rosenwald Fund added a fellowship program offering grants to promote education and accomplishment.
There were a lot of people, unfortunately, in this country who thought that African Americans could not compete with white people. But this program helped to show that if you gave them the opportunity, they could compete just as well as any American.
The people who got these fellowships is just a remarkable who's who of African American achievement. Marian Anderson, Langston Hughes, Ralph Ellison, Ralph Bunche, who won the Nobel Peace Prize.
Rosenwald was a modest man. When he created the Rosenwald Fund in 1917, he specified that it was to go out of business within 25 years of his death. And he believed in the philosophy of give while you live.
A campaign is underway to recognize Julius Rosenwald and the Rosenwald Schools as a National Historical Park.
We have only a small number of extant Rosenwald schools left on the landscape. And that's really the priority for this campaign, is to make sure that we've got something in place that can protect and preserve this story and some of the resources associated with it in perpetuity for the benefit, enjoyment, and inspiration of the public.
This is a great American story. It involves Jewish Americans working with African Americans to make this a more perfect union.
So it's a story that has to be told in hope that others will embrace that same philosophy and they will make contribution themselves.
We think this is a story that needs to be told by the National Park Service. With so much of the hate and the divisiveness that we see in our country right now and in our national dialogue and the horrible levels of anti-Semitism that we're seeing, this is a story that helps to explain how a Jewish philanthropist connected with an advocate in the African American community to do real good for the African American community.
And we are back. That was our first film, and our first filmmaker. He's not with us. And those filmmakers that are in the queue, if you will please just write in private chat the name of your film so that I do not pass you by. And I've done that in the past, which is not, it's not so good.
Okay.
Yeah. Whew. I don't feel very good after
No.
that. Hey, I what I took away from this was give while you,
You
live.
live. That was an awesome
Oh, I
quote.
love that.
That was Carnegie too.
Mhm.
Carnegie
Yeah.
did that, really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He was very. He wanted to die penniless.
Mhm.
Oh,
Wow.
really?
I love that. And then More Perfect Union. However,
Yes.
we heard that a lot.
Yes.
So what did you think of the film?
No, I thought, I'm glad I saw it, because without these little films, you don't know that that happened.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If we weren't watching this, I wouldn't have known that these two gentlemen came together and from seemingly different walks of life and joined together to make life better for others.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
You know,
the
on the
l-
other stories we would not know.
I love
Also
yeah,
inspiring. It means
right. And I love how the schools had gardens.
Oh yeah,
Right
yes,
there.
yes, yes, and
I'm
the,
a-
and the large windows. So like they weren't put in, it wasn't like a school. It was like more also like being at home.
Like this room, right?
Yeah, sure, right, yeah.
This room, right?
Yeah,
Um,
Also helped with the air conditioning because you could open the top of the window and let the heat out.
Yeah.
All there come in.
Yeah. So let's move on to the next film. And this one's called Going to the Roost. And enjoy. And we're back. So
I loved that.
I love that.
Yeah.
It was
yeah.
so quiet.
Yeah, well, it was virtually silent, except for your sound effects and things, but so much was said, right? With the father and son relationship and the old-fashioned duck call, or turkey call,
Turkey call,
and then he's
yeah.
got his little camera and the generations and the
Yeah.
bonding.
Yeah.
Oh, it was lovely.
It was so simple. I mean, just so simple. And as a filmmaker, yourself and myself, we learn that less is more. The less words, the
Show don't tell.
yes.
Yeah,
Beautifully
very
done.
Powerful. I like that.
Yeah, that was.
And I was kind of surprised at the end that they weren't father and son. Yeah, they yeah, in the credits only say it different names, but
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's move on. Let's go to something animated. This is called Doghouse.
Before we do,
Oh yeah.
I noticed on the first film
Yes.
that there was quite a few. It looked like in Central Florida.
Oh.
So I looked. It says there's a total of 140 Rosenwald funded schools and auxiliary buildings that were constructed in Florida between 1921 and 1932.
Wow.
And in Lake County, there still is the Okahumpka School. It's one.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of two surviving examples
Oh.
in Lake County.
That-
out of
I love
8.
that.
And that's close to me in Lake County where I
Yeah.
live.
Wow.
Mhm.
Interesting. Thank you for sharing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bringing it up like that. Well, good, wonderful. Let's go to the next one. Thank you so much, Karen, for that. One of the regulars.
Yeah, Karen. Yeah, go Karen. Like that.
She's the room monitor.
Yeah. Okay.
She keeps us in line. Yeah. All right. Let's
Okay.
get.
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Are you nearly ready to go?
Just about. Do you think he knows what's going on? Shh. It's a big change.
Don't worry, I'm sure he'll be fine.
You're gonna be okay, aren't you? Sorry, bud, there's no time for play now. We're here. What do you think? It's our new home.
And
That's sweet.
yeah, that
sweet.
was sweet.
Yeah.
We're on this little sweet kick.
Yeah,
now, aren't
you
we?
are, aren't you? Right in the middle.
And great films have
Mhm.
like little twists at the end.
Mhm.
You've seen The Sixth Sense, right?
Mhm, yeah.
So you know that.
How are you relating that to the
Well,
Sixth
well, I
Sense?
mean, this movie. I mean,
Do you think he was going to the vet for the last time? His
yeah.
last ride?
That was my thought. My thought was, oh my god, they're putting it
Oh
down.
dear! Oh
You
God!
didn't think that?
No, I thought maybe they were going to the park or going on a trip. You went dark.
I did.
Okay,
I
that's
did go
okay.
dark.
Yeah, he's got a new home. Yeah.
Did it cross your mind that? Oh, it didn't. Oh my! Am I the only one in this room that thinks?
Yeah.
So, Life Screenings is once a month here at the Winter Park Public Library. That's our physical space that we're here. Co-host Michelle, Curtis, and myself. Occasionally, you take off, right? You take. Yeah, I miss you sometimes. You're not. You're not.
I'm
here.
not available.
Yeah.
I'm on the move. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I try to be here with you. I love what you do. Yeah, it's a great program.
And we look for films that show a world that we want to live in.
Yeah.
And both Michelle and I are curators. And what that
Mhm.
means is we watch the films and we decide which films we're going to show. And today there are 9 films. So moving on, we're going to go to Extension and enjoy.
I was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis at a week old. Cystic fibrosis is a genetic disease that affects the lungs and it affects the pancreas. I take pills every time I eat, I have to make sure I take pills to make sure I digest the food. And then I'm always doing like treatments and stuff to keep my lungs healthy. Probably freshman year of high school, sitting in the library doing some sort of research paper, I started Googling like what is CF, read like life expectancy at that time was maybe 22, 23 or something. I was like, the moment I remember being like, oh, I'm making this decision, doesn't matter. Oh, I'm making that decision, doesn't matter. I was just live in the moment, which is why I, smoked cigarettes and wrecked cars and drove fast and was like, I lived by the live fast, die young kind of motto. I was like, fuck it, I don't care. Like, if I don't have much time, let's just enjoy this time.
Oh my God! Oh my! Oh!
Sort of moved out of my parents' house. They had a really hard time with me smoking, of course, and they're like, we did all of this for you to get you to be the most healthy kid you are, and I was very healthy for having CF, and then I was just like, fuck you to them. I was just destroying it and kind of spitting in their face a little bit. Don't call us, like, if you're not going to help yourself, like, we can't just be here and watch this. Day after Thanksgiving, I would have gone to my parents on Thanksgiving and spent that Thanksgiving smoking weed and just hanging out by myself. I felt so bad. So I went into the hospital and I spent 2 weeks, bad shakes, and just felt awful. Realizing like, okay, I either have to make a change or just accept like, this is kind of it. Like, I'm done. I'm tired. That's a part of it. Emotionally, I think I really just felt tired of thinking about it. It's not something you can turn off. The hospital, always the biggest break. Like, it's nurses take care of you. They bring you your food. They bring you your pill. Like, honestly, it feels like the only vacation I get from CF. Because when I go on actual vacation, I still have to take care of myself and do treatments. I think on the death side of things too, I was always more worried about leaving people than like what it was doing to me. Little feeling, it's quiet. I don't have to think. If I'm not going to get married, like, fine. Like, sleep around, you know, make out with people. It doesn't matter really because I'm enjoying my life now. And then processing that and having to make that flip to like, man, like, what if I could be a husband, even if it was for 5 years? What if I could have a career I'm passionate about for, you know, a little time? So I just needed a break from what I knew of CF. I needed a change in like this is how I do taking care of myself. That was, you know, kind of the turning point where I was like, okay, I'm going to put 110%. Whatever my doctor says, I'm doing that. Medicine's changing so quickly in this field. You could have a very normal life still. I didn't believe it, but I was like, okay, sure. So texting him, literally being like, what should I do? Do you think this is good? Do you think this is better? And started getting into lifting and working out and like, what can I do to, you know, maximize my lungs and get as much of my life back as possible? So I think it came in chunks. It was figure out how to be healthy and live CF, not, you know, my parents, not my doctors nagging me. How do I take this ownership of this and make it my own and do it, treat it seriously? So that was the first part of processing. And then the second part was, you know, it took about 3 or 4 years to get to a point where I'm like, wow, like I could kind of live a normal life. And, you know, I'm still at that 10-year window. So, you know, 25, it's 35 or 40, maybe. Yeah.
Hi, bud.
Over
Yeah,
there,
we'll
and
just
then-
go over there, and if they're,
There's-
we would have known, and
I would've had a-
make them back a
Yeah.
little bit.
Am I going to hurt someone else by making them spend the rest of their life with me, which could be 10 years? Is that something you want to sign up for? Well, if I do have 10 years, like, why are we gonna, like, if we want to be together, let's be together. There's some drugs I'm on now that have radically changed even how I lived 3 years ago, which is crazy to me. Like, I was not working full time. I'm looking at working full time. My life is so different. I mean, I probably wouldn't be here if I hadn't gone through hell. And I think I'm more at a thankful spot that, like, wow, I did all that and I'm now looking at 20 years, 30, you know, I could have a very full, normal life. It feels less tiring. It's not a chore. CF is not my life as far as like going to control what I get to do in my life or the time I have with my family or how I live out my career. It's not had a grasp on that for a while, and I think that's more of the joy is like, man, like I feel like I took my life back a little bit or a lot of it, and I'm like, I'm going to manage my life and CF no matter the outcome.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know. They're heavy.
They're heavy, but they're inspirational.
Oh my
God,
God.
he went from like no hope to hopeful to getting married and
Yeah.
living a life and moving forward. Oh my God.
I wish the filmmaker was here. We'd love to talk to
Me
you,
too.
but he's not. We do have Expose, which is coming out,
Mhm.
and now the filmmaker's there.
Oh,
with,
great. Good.
Is that John? Yeah, that is John. Hey, John. Yeah, he's down there.
Waiting patiently.
We're gonna get to him soon. We're gonna go to something a little, well, not lighter.
scaring me.
Sorry.
Okay.
It's gonna change. You know what? We're gonna go lighter here. This next one is a filmmaker locally. His name is Ryan Reese. I've shown some of his films, and he has got this eclectic way of looking at life, and he's got this eclectic way of taking video and film. So he uses both
Great.
at the same time.
Great. Okay.
So I think he's watching on Facebook now. So Ryan, let's see what this does here. Oops, no, wrong one right there. And we want some video. Here we go.
Jacqueline, I need you to meet me in Sanford immediately. I'm scouting locations for my next film, and I need your help. I need the house the main character grew up in, and the house he lives in now. Also the church he goes to on Sunday, and the auto shop where he works. It's a nostalgia picture, where he reminisces about his youth. I truly believe this will be the one that gets me the Academy Award. Also, I think you should have a cat. I don't know why, I just like cats. I'll have my 8mm camera to make a screen test of the emotion I'm trying to achieve.
Ryan Reese. Yeah, Ryan Reese. I
Yeah.
wish Ryan was in the dugout, or I wish I could bring him in.
Yeah.
You've seen some of his films, right, Lydia? Have you? No, maybe he works with film, and some of that was, I think, footage.
Are they usually longer?
No, he does short. Those are Daisy Duke shorts, you know.
Yeah, it was a little Wes Anderson-ish.
Yeah.
In the beginning with some of the font and his and the colors a little bit and the darkness.
Yeah, Ryan,
little bit.
he just sent it to me like a couple weeks ago, and it was wonderful.
I thought the music was good.
Yeah, and, he's a musician too, to my understanding. I think he did do the music. So let's keep moving on.
Okay.
And this next one is well,
Just hit play.
enjoy. There we go. Oops, wrong one. There we go.
Stephen sat at the kitchen table, staring at the envelope in front of him. It was from the vet, and he knew what it said before he even opened it. His beloved black lab service dog, Daisy, had cancer. He couldn't believe it. Daisy had been by his side for over a decade, helping him navigate the challenges of life as a veteran with PTSD. She was more than just a pet. She was a vital part of his support system. But now Stephen was faced with a difficult decision. The vet had recommended putting Daisy to sleep, as the cancer was aggressive and treatment options were very limited. Stephen knew it was the kindest thing to do, but the thought of saying goodbye to his faithful companion was almost too much to bear. He sat there for a long time, lost in thought, until he heard a soft whine at his feet. He looked down to see Daisy looking up at him with her big brown eyes, as if she knew something was wrong.
Hey girl, come here.
Daisy walked over, leaned her head against his leg, and Stephen buried his face in her fur, tears streaming down his face.
I don't know what to do, Daisy. I don't want to lose you. We've been through everything.
Daisy licked his hand, and Stephen couldn't help but smile, despite the sadness he felt. She always knew how to make him feel better. He took a deep breath and stood up, pulling Daisy's leash off the hook by the door.
Come on, let's go for a walk. It'll do us both some good.
They walked through the RV park, the autumn leaves crunching under their feet. Stephen took in the sights and sounds around him, trying to focus on the present moment rather than the difficult decision that lay ahead. As they walked, he couldn't help but think about all the memories he had with Daisy. The call center where they worked, the lazy afternoons spent lounging on the couch, the countless times she had sensed when he was having a panic attack and had comforted him. He knew he couldn't keep her with him forever, but the thought of life without her was unbearable. He knew he had to make the decision that was best for her, but it was tearing him apart. When they got back to the house, Stephen sat on the couch and pulled Daisy into his lap. She rested her head on his chest, and he stroked her fur, trying to commit every detail to memory.
I'm going to miss you so much. You've been the best dog anyone could ask for. I love you.
Daisy looked up at him with her big brown eyes, and Stephen knew he had to make the call. He picked up the phone and dialed the vet's office, his heart heavy with grief. The next few days were a blur of grief and preparations. Steve made arrangement for Daisy's care, saying goodbye to his beloved companion. On the day of the appointment, he sat with Daisy in the vet's office, holding her paw as she took her last breath. As he left the office, he knew that a part of him would always be missing, but he also knew that Daisy had given him more than he could ever repay, and he was grateful for the time they had together. As he got into his car, tears streaming down his face, knowing that he would always cherish the memories of his faithful companion, Daisy the dog.
Who got that rope? Who got that rope, pal? Who got that rope now? Who got that rope? Who got that rope? Who got it? Who got that rope? Who got it? Who got it? Oh, who's got it? Who got the rope? Who got the rope? Who got the rope? Who got the rope? Who's got it? Oh, Daisy's got it. Oh, Daisy's got that rope. Let me see that rope. Let me see it. Let me see it. Who's got it? Who's got it? Who's got that rope? Who's got it? Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Who's got it?
Wow.
Good girl.
Yeah.
That was a nice ending, though, because I was like,
Yeah.
and then Daisy's go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good life.
I got that 2 months ago.
Mhm.
With Life Screenings. Life Screenings is a film festival, and we go through what's called Film Freeway. And Film Freeway is the organization, basically a hub for filmmakers and for film festival directors like ourselves. And we they submit the films, and then they decide which film festivals they want to put them into. So with that said, let's move on. Let's move on to the next one. And our filmmaker is there. John is there. This is called Expose. So enjoy.
Don't you ever.
I slept with your wife.
I know.
You slept with how many women?
We can't hear you. Oh, you're lying.
This is since you've been married.
Truth or dare?
Truth or dare? Really? I told you not to bring us here tonight.
I'm sorry, what?
I told you they'd do something like this. This whole Virginia Woolf thing.
Oh, like you're our victim now.
Yeah, who volunteered to go first?
Yeah, when you didn't even want to be here.
With your close friends, the psycho.
Truth.
Okay.
Yeah, since we kidnapped you and twisted your arm, give.
Who did you sleep with?
You love this shit.
I guess we can't call her Mother Superior anymore.
Just give me one name.
I know why she slept with them. Because she's such a good sport.
Okay, okay.
What? Tell me I'm wrong.
I said okay.
What? Are you defending her?
How many? How many?
Maybe 10?
Whoa, what? You can't count?
One-offs or more than one?
One time or more than one?
Oh, for God's sake. Okay, it was college reunion. This one stupid night where we all got drunk off champagne and played strip poker, and maybe there was a little ecstasy.
Wow! Amateur lesbian orgy. I'm getting off.
That was last March, right?
Good for you.
I bet you there's some hot selfies in that phone.
I forgive you.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Next time, just tell me though.
Okay, my turn now. Truth. Ever cheated on Jack?
Hold on for the ride. It's roast the host time.
We're all friends. Have you slept with anyone, male or female, since you've been with Jack?
No. Nobody. I have not.
I saw it too.
What?
You blinked both times when you answered.
Yeah, so?
It's the #1 tell for a lie.
Oh, Jesus. Don't give me that psychobabble crap.
Don't look at me. She's an expert.
You guys really think we're that subversive?
Not subversive. More mean.
Nasty.
Occasionally.
Yeah. You know what? I've had enough. I'm just going to go to bed. You take out the trash.
No, wait a minute. What did you see?
Ask her again.
No. Cheater? You know, this was supposed to be fun.
Really? Because this was your idea.
You guys get off on this, don't you?
Oh, like you don't.
Ask her again.
No, you don't have to.
Have you slept with anyone since you've been married to Jack?
Oh, Jesus Christ. No, nobody. I have not.
See? 3 blinks.
Have not what?
Slept with anybody. Jesus fucking Christ.
She can't stop blinking.
It was 3 blinks.
Well, listen, tramp, just because you fucked around doesn't mean that the rest of us have.
Okay. All right. That's enough.
What? You just offended her
call it a
again.
night. Who wants coffee?
Oh, I do.
Hey, Angie. We're going to see the portion.
Why is Jack suddenly the white knight around Susan?
He's just smoothing things over. They both are. They're alike in that way.
So if she slept with him, it wouldn't bother you?
Whoa. Where did that come from?
So you swing both ways. You were a surprise.
I told you, we were shit-faced. It was actually really lame.
Oh, I bet.
Jack, we had a fling.
Encore.
A very sweet,
Uh-oh.
prenuptial,
Oh, God, the kiss of death.
really small fling.
Jesus, you're killing me.
Stop. Your wife could come in at any moment.
Oh, I could come right now.
No, you couldn't.
Ouch.
He's in love with somebody else.
Yes, come on. He's crazy about you.
I can smell it.
You don't see the way he looks at you.
When we met, I could feel him staring at me from across the room.
No, he still does.
Now he looks at me like he's staring right through me, like he's trying to see somebody else.
Sorry. I didn't mean to say it like that.
Yeah, you did.
No, really. You were great.
So you got stoned and naked with 25 other women.
10 women.
And it had nothing to do with you and Hank.
Maybe 12. Stop.
No. There's something you're not telling Uncle Jack.
I'm pregnant. Can you believe it?
I can feel him leaving.
And he never left.
Oh, really? I get more than you think. Speaking of misbehaving,
Were we?
I see the way you look at me.
Well, you're gorgeous.
And
And you're hot. And yeah, I've noticed.
And you don't even make a pass. What? Did you get married and forget how to fuck?
Well, Susan and I managed quite nicely. Thank you very much. No lie, we're really happy.
Does Angie not want children?
I don't know. You know how those things happen.
I mean, do you want me to talk to her?
No.
Because
No.
I'm
no,
really
Angie.
fond of her,
So
actually.
just don't bring this up to Angie, okay? Please.
But Jack,
No, stop. Just stop. Promise me you will never bring this up with Angie, okay?
But
Look at me. Promise me you will never bring this up with Angie, all right? You will forget we ever had this fucking conversation.
Okay.
Promise me.
I promise.
Promise me!
I promise. Okay?
Here, sweetie.
This one's Hank's.
Where'd everybody go?
Hey, right here. Here. Took Angie out to see the Porsche.
Hey, Suze. Was that story true about the orgy?
Oh, God. Are we still playing this awful game?
Babe, chill.
You made up an orgy so that we wouldn't get near the truth.
Babe, enough already. Chill.
You're
Coffee time.
defending her. That's 3 times.
Man, it's enough already.
And no, I didn't.
Excuse me?
I didn't.
You blinked.
Are we still doing that? Okay, no, I did not make up that orgy.
You did Jack, didn't you?
Ange, honey, knock it off.
No, I did not do Jack, okay? My husband is the only man that I want.
No offense, Jack.
You know what I mean? You get this way when you drink, you know.
Just tell me one detail, huh? Just tell me. Where? When?
I'm not having this conversation.
Ange, honey, I
Oh.
did not sleep with Susan. What's gotten into you? Come here.
Just one detail.
I did not do your husband, okay? Get that through your head.
You're lying. Somebody is lying. And I can feel it.
You know what? I'm leaving. Hank?
Yeah. Jack, later.
Oh, wait. I forgot I asked the wrong question, didn't I, Suze? Fuck sex. Did you fall in love after you made it legal with Hank?
Ange, enough already.
You were lying.
Should we tell her the truth, darling?
Shut up.
It's late.
First time I laid eyes on Hank, fell so hard I never looked back.
Please shut up or I'll scream.
It's true. First time we kissed, I was shaking so hard I bit his lip.
Would you just shut up?
But I was just succotash to Hank's main meal. Less than succotash.
I hate her. She always makes me feel like you're in some kind of club and I'll never belong. You get that way when you drink, you know, dear. You know what?
She makes him happy.
You lie. You are hot for her. You lie to me, you lie to them, and then you just ooze all this charm.
I ooze. Come here, you know what happens when you drink 3 Manhattan?
Fuck you!
Hey, a poem.
Oh, I hate you.
Don't you ever.
I slept with your wife.
I know.
She wasn't you. You ever think of us? How good we were?
I don't.
How can you stand it? Because I can't do this. I'm not you.
It's been 2 years,
It's
Jack.
been 19 months.
It's been 19 months, 4 weeks, and 3 days.
Skits.
No.
That first night in Montauk,
Don't-
what'd you call
don't.
it?
It's nuclear fission.
Never stopped. Not for me.
Yeah. It's another time. It's another life.
I stole your sweatshirt.
I know. Good night, Jack.
What do? Push a button and switch off your soul? Is that it?
Goodbye, Jack.
Hey, Ange? You up? Hey, Ange?
So films take you everywhere.
They certainly do. It's like a roller coaster ride
Oh
today.
my gosh. What did you think?
I'm still processing.
We're-
Very tangled.
we're gonna
What a
br-
tangled web we weave.
We're gonna bring John in right
Okay,
now.
let's do that.
Hey, John.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. We can see you too.
All right.
Wow. What a movie. Oh my gosh. When I first saw it, I think it took me into every single emotion of hate and love.
Yeah, yeah.
There is.
It is.
John, you are the director. Did you write this also or not?
No, sir. The script was written by the very talented Anne Convery, who I believe is tuning in today, but I'm not sure. And the redheaded actress Virginia Schneider, who is also a producer, she and the actors were performing Anne's one-act play in a festival, and they wanted to film it. They're all actors and they wanted to do it for their reel. So Virginia approached me to edit it, and because I'm an editor, that's my day job. And I said, sure, I'll edit it, but here's how you should shoot it. And I kind of outlined it for her, and she said, well, why don't you direct it? And I said, okay. And so we all got together with Anne's terrific script and shot it over a weekend during the lockdown. So it was early days, and we were, trying to abide by all the COVID protocols, and it was not easy, but we had a really tiny crew. So we managed to make it out, no sicknesses. So, and we're all just thrilled with the results.
Right. What a roller coaster. I think earlier someone had said we're in a roller coaster. I guess it was your editing as far as coming in at the first shot being like 3/4 or 80% into the movie. Correct? That was one of your choices.
Yeah. The script had a really great conversational rhythm, which I hope plays out in the film. And that's kind of what initially got me interested in it. And I had just recently seen a TV show on, I think it's Amazon, called Fleabag by Phoebe Waller-Cates. I can't remember her last name. Anyway, the season 2 first episode has this brilliant dinner scene where there's all these different side conversations happening around one table, and you're cutting back. The cutting is really fast and furious, and you're cutting between all these conversations. And so I was like, that's what we should do with this, because of all the side conversations between these two couples. And so that was kind of our aesthetic template, I guess you could say. So yeah, and because I was editing it, I kind of knew I had some shortcut ideas in mind when we shot it.
Well, I love how the first scene, you jump right in, running right into the room. Michelle, do you have any questions for John?
No,
No?
I don't.
No? Any peanut gallery person
really.
here have any questions? I know that was a roller
Yeah,
coaster.
yeah.
Right now we're
And
we're
the
just
twist
like
that the couple, but you're talking about your editing about going back and forth, that was heightening the tension for me, that at one point I'm like, okay, I've got to breathe, because I was so in the moment with them, the back and forth, and how it was getting more and more awkward and more intense, and in the Porsche.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Very
yeah.
very tight.
How many twists were there, John? I mean, I think everybody was with everybody else except for the two women. Were the two women together?
Not
at
yet,
one time?
but you know,
No.
maybe the sequel.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my.
Yeah.
It just kept going and rolling and rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
where does the expose go from here?
Well, we're currently hitting the festival circuit, and we saw it on the big screen for the first time about a week and a half ago out here in California, which was a thrill. All the cast and the producers and everybody got to convene once again and enjoy it on the big screen, which is terrific. So yeah, we're just continuing to kind of, enjoy our festival run and meet terrific filmmakers and programmers like yourselves. So this is the fun part.
Yeah.
No kidding.
So John, let me ask you, is the response in the live screenings very similar to the response that you've seen with us?
That's a good question. I don't know, but of course, when you watch something with an audience, you always learn things. And when we screened in a public venue last week,
We lost your sound.
Oh,
We lost your sound. Yeah.
can you hear
I
me?
think that's you. It's
Can you
not
hear
us.
me?
There you
Can
are.
me? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So every go ahead.
Well, no, I was just saying that in our public screening, I learned a couple of things about the film, just gauging the audience's reaction to some things, what they were picking up on, what wasn't landing hard enough. So it was interesting. I would like to have screened it in a public venue a while back to make changes and stuff. But overall, we're just super thrilled with how the film is playing, and especially the actors, who this is really just their showcase. They knocked it out of the park, and they're all terrific people. So it's just a fun group of people to work with.
Yeah.
What's the most important thing that you learned from the audience?
There's a moment towards the end when Jack turns to the other guy and says, "Should we tell him, darling? The first time we kissed, I was shaking in my shoes." And when we saw that in a public screening, a few people kind of anticipated the ending before it had finally landed. And so I was like, if we had cut that part out, then the ending would have kind of a bigger surprise effect, possibly. That was the biggest thing I saw. But also, it's usually just where jokes are landing, that kind of thing. But that was interesting. I was watching it, and some people in the audience, they were picking up on it before the final twist, before it was happening. So that was really interesting.
Right. Well, John, all the best luck with Expose.
Yes.
Wonderful job. We enjoyed it. Kudos. And from now on, submit your films to live screenings. There's no fee, so just send them to me, and I'll screen them, or I'll see if I can get them shown. But thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you
John.
all. I appreciate it. Enjoy your
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. Wow.
Who hasn't been in an awkward dinner party like that? That's or you don't ever want to.
I have never been in an awkward dinner party.
Why do I not believe it?
Like, no, not like that. I haven't. Here we go. We're gonna put some lights on. Yeah.
Okay.
That's our last one.
Mhm.
So this is basically live screenings.
Yes.
Once a month, right
Mhm.
here. So your takeaway from all these films?
my takeaway from all of these, well, is inspiration and relationships, because you had I had forgotten about the one, the man with cystic fibrosis. And that was the most, the one with the pets. And I mean, these were all very about emotional ties, and the father and the son out shooting turkey. But the cystic fibrosis one was, like he was so young and his parents had tried to find him help, and you're diagnosed with that. And all he wanted to do was throw it away. And he was so angry. And then like this turning, and then he was hopeful. And those tears in his eye, okay, I'm getting goosebumps. Yeah. And like I thought, wait a minute, is he perspiring? No, he's weeping. It was, and so to take away from today's grouping of films is inspiring, and that we all have these emotional roller coasters, be it whatever. It's just how we ride them and come out the other end, I guess.
Anybody else want to share?
How did that last one fit into your paradigm? That wasn't a world I want to live in, where everybody's betraying each other.
You're right. Where did it fall? Where did it fall? I had never been caught up in it was maybe 10 minutes. Never caught up so much and moved in so many directions that it was just like it was brand new to me. I mean, even in real life, I don't know if I've ever been in a situation like, I mean, not that extreme.
No, not that
it was, I mean, it's all about betrayal, and it's all about relationships. So how people get along or don't get along with each other. I just found it an odd one. And odd films are some that I like to show.
There is one that gets thrown in, where we're like, why did you pick that?
Yeah.
That's not the world I want to be in.
That reminds me of the headphone one that you played, where the guy picks up the headphones.
Yeah. That was the 1 minute.
That was another one of I don't want to live in that world.
He gets
Hey,
So he's done it before.
I want to make sure you all come back.
Somebody might want to live in that world. We don't know.
Where's that Easter egg? Beautiful spot.
The actors were really good. They were,
Yes.
They were
So
professional.
I do want to live in a world where there are good actors.
Well said. Nice say. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
In a world with honest people.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. That would be nice.
what did you all think about the films?
I love them. There was a little bit of everything.
Yeah, definitely. It's like a roller coaster of emotions.
Yes.
The selection was also a roller coaster.
Mhm.
Oh.
And the first one about Julius Rosenwald.
Yeah.
I didn't know about
Yeah.
actually. So
And being so close. So I already looked them up and like
Yeah.
saved them.
Mhm.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
Extension and what's that's the film.
The extensions. Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
That was
Yeah.
powerful too. Yeah,
Mhm.
so emotional. So that's the magic and beauty of films.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They make
Mhm.
you feel all these emotions at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like
Mhm.
wondering how to feel.
Mhm.
I'll go home being exhausted.
Yeah.
As a child, I read about Booker T. Washington, and I did go to a one-room school.
Oh.
And it was outside toilets.
Yeah.
Of course, it was white.
Mhm.
But I was up from the north,
Mhm. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
we didn't have the exposure.
Mhm.
And that, but I always admired him. Even though I read that as a kid about his strength as an educator.
Right.
And that.
You always
Yeah.
emphasize education.
Yeah.
Education.
And that, and Booker T. Washington was another one that I really, nobody ever talks about him that much, but that's another one I read about that
Yeah.
I really, really like.
My kindergarten. When I was a kindergartner, I was in Booker T. Washington School. I don't. It wasn't one room. I don't think so. No, it wasn't one of those.
Well, we had 8th grade.
So our next one is going to be July the 22nd, and those are all 1 minute films. Okay, so we'll show about 31 minute films, and we go all over with those. And so that's right here. It will be in this building. I don't think it'll be in here. July 22nd, hopefully not. And then August 26th, we'll be back here at the library for up to 15-minute films, because these were up to 15 minutes.
The July 22nd one is the downtown Orange County.
No, it's here.
Okay,
Everything.
wait, you said something. You said it.
Oh,
that one was. I thought you said it was here, and then you said
It'll be
August
in
one, like,
it'll be
we're coming back
no.
here.
We'll come back to doing 15-minute films.
Oh.
Yeah. So what do you
I know Whiplash from Change of Subject from location to.
sorry.
Yeah.
How do you want to finish?
I want to finish with saying thank you, and thank you to the filmmakers and our like peanut gallery. You've called them that before, but everybody that came today.
Yes. Thank you all so much. And we'll see you July 22nd.
Dun, dun,
Here
dun.
at Downtown Library. Bye-bye. Oh, wrong
Thank you
one.
very much.
There we go.